Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson. We're going to be going over the basic tools in Canva. In our last lesson, we went over the Canva interface. Now, if you've not watched that video already, please go ahead and watch it as it is very, very important. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the custom size. Now, if you're using your mobile phone for this training, you might not be able to see the custom size. So what you want to do is you want to look out for this plus icon on your home screen on your phone. Once you see something like this, that is a plus sign, click on it and it should bring out the custom size for you as an option. So once we click on it, we're going to be imputing a basic size, which is the Instagram post square, which is 180 by 180 pixels. So we're going to be going with this, but you can come over here to pick a specific size, and even if you don't know, there are already sizes that you can pick, right? So you don't have to know the specific size in pixels or in inches. You can just come over here and impute it. So I'm going to come here and impute and click on the Instagram posts. Okay, so now that it has loaded up, we're going to be going over the basic tools by designing something. So I feel like the best way for you to learn about all these tools is to actually use them in a design, right? So we have our blank canvas here. That means there is really nothing on it. This is where we can add other pages. Let's say we're designing a carousel post. We can always come here and add pages. Here is where we can rename. So we can say Instagram post for the brand, whatever brand you're designing for. So it's always good to name your design before starting out. This is because if you're to choose a template and you don't rename it, by the time you're exporting, the image is taking the name of that. So we know that templates usually have a long name. They can have up to 5 things mentioned, right? So if you're to export, it will have the name of the image and you have to manually edit it. So instead of doing that, you can always come here, and when you rename, by the time you're exporting, where you want to click on share, then you can share with the name you've put. So that's how it works, right? So let's go over to the left panel. So in the left panel, we can see that there are a lot of templates already, suggested templates by Canva. So what this means, how the custom size is different, is that then you get to have access to the specific size. So if you remember correctly, we put 180 by 180 pixels. That means whatever design it's going to be suggesting within this template will be 180 by 180 pixels, right? So the styles part is where you can play around with combinations of fonts and combinations of color palettes. Let me give an instance for you. So I'm going to pick a random template now. I'm going to pick this template because it's free and we're on a free account. So it has opened up and we have the option of picking a single page or adding the 6 pages. But because I want to show you how the styles work, I'm going to be applying all 6 pages. Now you can see that this is a very simple yet clean carousel post and it is for free. So let's apply all 6 pages. Okay, so now that we've applied it, let's go over to the styles and let's apply this. As you can see here, it has changed completely to fit this color. Now we have the option to apply it to all the pages. So let's try it out. So let's try the color palette as well. And you can always shuffle. So the beautiful part is you can click on it and it will shuffle to different sides, different angles, different colors. If you are to choose the font as well, it will change the font. As you can see, it has changed to that particular font, and we have the option of applying it to all pages as well. So when should you use the styles in Canva? You should use the styles part when you are trying to generate ideas, when you don't have a specific color palette in mind or a particular font and you're just trying things out, or you're just trying to explore. This is one of the many tools that I love personally in Canva, and I always use it whenever I'm trying to be creative and just play around using Canva. So I'm going to undo this so that we go back to the very beginning now that you understand how styles work. So undo, I'm coming back, and if I was to go forward, I'll redo here. So now we have this right in Canva. So we've gone back to the very start. So now that we've explored the styles, let's look at other aspects of the interface. So we have the element. Under the elements, you have the recently used. So these are the recently used elements that I have added in Canva. Then you have the shapes, you have the graphics, you have an AI image generator. So if you want to generate any image in Canva, you can put in a prompt right in Canva. You don't have to export from an external app. You can do that right in Canva. And then you have access to stickers. So these stickers are like animated objects really that you can add to your designs. You have access to photos like backgrounds, images of people, so many other things. There are some paid and some free, so depending on what you're using Canva for. So we have the frames as well. So if I was to bring in a frame like this, and then I was to impute this image, it will take on, and I just dragged it over, just dragging it over to take the shape of whatever frame I put in, right? So this is one of the great ways for you to enhance your design right in Canva. Then let's go over the grid. So the grid is more than one frame stacked together. So just like how the frame works, where you drag an image over the frame, that is how grids work too. Then you have access to videos, audios, chats, polls and quizzes, mockups, and so much more right in Canva. So let's go over to text. So for the text now, if you have a brand kit, here is where you can put in the particular font you use. But like I said, that is a pro feature, right? So this is where we can add headings. So let's add an heading to our image and say live your life, and putting that, let's say we want to bring it here, I want to bring it below. So this is where you can change the font that you picked. So we currently have a default of Canva Sans. So for the font, there are different types of font that Canva would suggest to you if you're just designing for the first time. And if you currently have the font you've recently used, it will appear in the recently used, so you don't always have to check for them. So let's try out this Playpen Sans. As you can see, it looks way different now. So there are so many font types in Canva: the handwriting, the corporate, display, headings, paragraphs, sans serif, serif, rounded, modern, and a lot more. And all of these font types represent a particular feeling, right? So there is the laid back feeling, the corporate feeling, and all of that. So I'm going to be dropping a link to an article in the description. Please make sure you go through it. It has detailed understanding of how fonts work and how you can pick the right font for your designs. So let's go ahead for the handwriting, because once this image is giving a playful vibe, so let's go with Playwright US Trend. As you can see, this gives a more playful vibe, and this is where we can increase the font size. We can increase or decrease the font size here. We can pick a color for the font here, either based on the image we imputed or just based on the default font, or we can even put in our own new font. So I'm going to be clicking this one because I feel like it goes with the image. Now this is just a practical, you can do this, is just me teaching you how to use Canva. Basically, we're still going to go into designs, but this is just the basic understanding of Canva, so you don't have to feel lost or feel like you're not getting it. I want you to pick a random image as well, just like I've done. Pick a shape, pick a font, and play around with it, right? So here is where we can bold it, but for now we can see that there is no bold for this particular font type, so we are going to skip the bold and italics. For if I was to pick a font that had those things, it will definitely come out here where I can bolden it or put it in italics. So here is the alignment. This is how you align it in Canva. If you click on it, this is the left alignment, this is justifying it, and this is the left alignment, but we're going to put it in the center alignment, right? So here is, if you wanted to make it in a list, maybe it is 1 2 3 4, it is more than one, you can click here and it will make it automatically into a list, but we don't want that, so I'm going to uncheck that. And then the spacing, so there's the letter spacing, there's the line spacing. The letter spacing is the spacing between letters for your font, and the line spacing is the spacing between one line of word and another line of word. So if you want to adjust, here is where you adjust your letter spacing and your line spacing. So this is where we reduce transparency, also known as opacity. So if you don't want it to be too sharp, you can reduce the opacity here, just like this. This is how I can increase or decrease the opacity right in Canva. So I'm going to leave it. So for the effect part, we're going to be going into it in details in the coming weeks, and also the animation, so I'm not going to go in depth into that. This is just a basic video on how to use it. So if you have any thing you want to upload it, either an image you want to bring it in, this is where you come to upload it and bring it in. So you don't necessarily have to use the things on Canva. You can upload your own special image and use it in your designs. So the tools are also the draw, the shapes, different tools, although you might hardly use this if you're in Canva, but it's worth checking out as well. So now let's go over to the share. Now that we're done, how do we export this to other people in Canva? One of the ways is to download it directly. You can also make it into a public link. What this means is that it will be published on the web, and whoever you share that link with will be able to view it. You can publish it on Instagram directly. You can also copy it to a clipboard and paste it somewhere. So if you're designing in Figma, or you're using Adobe XD, or you're using other tools like that, you can copy from here and paste it there, and to be pasted just like this. Then you can also move it to a folder right in Canva, so you can always have access to it. You can send it to your phone in case you're designing on your system, but if you open your app on your phone, you should still have access to it, and you can even edit on your system as you're editing on your phone. And then you can embed a link, let's say a YouTube link or something. Then the website is, if you chose the website template, for example, and you're looking to make it go live, one of the ways you can share it is to turn this into a website, and you get a custom link from Canva, so whenever they click on that link, people will be redirected to your website, right? So that's one of the ways you can also share. And also you can present, so in case you made a presentation, or you're trying to give a proposal to somebody, the present helps you to present right in Canva. You don't have to download it and then look for a presenting app. You can do that right in Canva. So another thing you can do is to schedule, but this is a pro feature. So the scheduling helps you to post in advance. So let's say I want to post it in 2 weeks from now. I can always schedule it, connect it to my socials, and once it is that time, it posts from directly from Canva to my socials. I think this is an amazing feature in Canva because it is really easy, just like a content calendar, but now you're putting in your post directly with the captions and everything, so it's posting on your behalf. But this is basically a pro feature, but it's an amazing feature, right? You can also send as an email on WhatsApp. There's so many ways to export it. There's so many ways. So let's go over the download, because for the download there's so many ways you can also download it. So one of the ways you can download is as a JPEG. Now a JPEG is just like a picture, and if you're using a free Canva account, you have limitations because it might not be in the best quality. For example, this is the highest I can go. Like I can't go above this because I'm using a free plan, but in a pro plan you can extend the size and the quality, making it crisp and clear, right? Then the PNG is majorly if you don't want it to have a background and you're just looking to use it in other things. So if you're looking to export as an image, I highly recommend using the JPEG. And then for PNGs, if you're using it in another tool, let's say you want to export it to Figma or you want to export it to Illustrator or something, then you should use PNG. Then the PDF standard is if you're exporting online as a PDF, so you want to share somebody the document, then that is PDF standard. But for PDF print, that means you want to print it out. You want to make it into a PDF and then you want to print it out after. So you should choose that. And then for the SVG is best for web designs and animations. So you'll be able to export it and be able to use it on your website seamlessly, right? But this is a pro feature and we don't have access to that since this is a free account. Another way you can export it is as a video. Yeah, you can export this as a video and also as a GIF, and lastly as a PowerPoint document. So there are a lot of ways to export in Canva, and it depends on your goal for designing, which we're going to be covering the next coming videos. Let's go over this bottom part. This is where you can zoom in to your design. In case it is too far, you can zoom in here, right? You can show page thumbnails here. So that means you can see the pages here. You can add another one, so it's easier for you, just like this. So if you have more than one page, this is where you can add the thumbnails, and then you can see your designs either in a grid view or in the normal view, which is to close the grid, like stacked on each other. And then the last part is if I would like to present this particular, let's say it's a presentation I made and I would like to present it, this is where I can present it in Canva. So now let's go over this part. This is where we can collaborate. So if you have somebody that you want to collaborate with, this is the best part to add their emails right in Canva. 3-4 people can be working on the same file, right? So all you just have to do is send them an invite by their mail and they will get it directly. And then the analytics also helps you to see who has visited. So it helps you to get to know who has visited, especially if you create a public view link, which is this public view link. So let's say you put it on the internet for everybody to be able to view. The analytics will help you see how many visitors you have, and you get access to the full analytics using Canva Pro. So we've come to the end of this video. I hope it has been helpful. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to leave it on the group. Please do well to like and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. In the next lesson, we're going to be going in depth into how to design better in Canva, and I'll see you in the next lesson.